What it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. This is episode 22 of the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. What's going on with everybody out there? Appreciate you guys joining me here for a new episode. You dig? It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, but thank God it's Talk Pro Wrestling time, man. Everybody talks on pro wrestling. So just getting up, man, in the morning, you're on your way to work or getting off of work, man. Good morning, good night, good afternoon to all my listeners all over the world. Appreciate you joining me from all over the States, Canada, Germany, the UK, you name it. Appreciate you guys joining me here on a new episode. You dig, man? This week's episode is going to be a dope one, man. I got my guy Eddie Taurus in the building, 19-year wrestling vet. He's going to join me to talk some pro wrestling, have some fun this week. But before we get there, I want to shout out my guest who was on last week, my guy Tyree Taylor. I appreciate you, man, for joining me to talk some pro wrestling, to share some experience and, just talking some wrestling, man. This is Talk Pro Wrestling. So anytime, you're welcome anytime. But you guys, Eddie Taurus will be joining me here on the podcast in just a bit, you guys. But I just want to get you guys caught up in just a bit what a crazy week it have been in pro wrestling. We got TakeOver 31 this coming Sunday. AEW took place this past weekend. Raw, we got the crazy and exciting Clash of Champions that took place this past Sunday on the WWE Network. It's just been a lot going on. But you guys, man, it's Friday. We got SmackDown tonight for the whole fallout of Clash of Champions. The Tribal Chief, man, he is on and popping, man. He's doing his thing, man, for real. But you guys, man, last week on SmackDown, I want to start off my little review real quick, you guys. Last week on SmackDown, it wasn't that much to really, look out for, but it was a couple of things that really caught my eye. Alexa Bliss stands out as number one. Alexa Bliss, really digging what Alexa Bliss doing, especially when she hit the Fiend, and she just changed to a different person. She's doing the Sister Abigail and all of it, man. I'm really digging it. Even, the part where, the big dog, the Tribal Chief was coming out and she just gave that look at Roman. Like, I don't know if it was he's sexy, he fine, or like, I'm coming for that title, or Fiend coming for it, I don't know, I'm not calling him sexy, but I don't know what that look was, but hey, it looked evil in a way though, but really, man, I'm really loving what they are doing with Alexa Bliss, man, really loving that. So we're going to see what happens on SmackDown this week, you guys. Another thing that was cool on SmackDown this past week, we seen a cool matchup between Matt Riddle and King Corbin. I don't know about you guys, though. For all my listeners out there, I want to hear from you guys, man. It's the time for a new king in WWE. And they could have did a King of the Ring this year, and I know 2020 has been crazy. I don't know if anybody backstage want to be crowned as the 2020 King of the Ring. You feel me? Like, that shit that happened at the award show where, the fire wouldn't go out on the stage. Like, that's 2020, man. All this crazy, it's 2020 crazy, man, for real. But they can bring it back in January or something, man. But I'm really there. I'm really looking forward to a new king in WWE. I think Baron Corbin has run his round with the king gimmick. I want to see something different with him, though. But Another thing, you guys, man, that was really, shocking to me. Well, it really wasn't shocking, but it was amazing because I got it all mixed up, you guys. The Uso, it was Jay Uso, you guys, who's took on Roman Reigns this past Sunday at Clash of Champions. I thought it was Jimmy Uso. Now, I understand, yes, they are twins, and you may get it mixed up. I thought it was Jimmy Uso because of the promo that Jay pulled on SmackDown last week. Had me thinking, like, okay, if you're not Naomi's husband, you must be the other one, and he was the other one. So I'm thinking the whole time, this is Jimmy. You feel me? Like, yeah, like, but no, the whole time got it all wrong though. But really love the fact that Jay came out there. He was like, man, what's up with the look? Oos, what's up with the look, man? I'm trying to get, what's up, man? You feel me? So, I'm really digging that, and the fact that it is the other Oos, because I feel as though the Jimmy Uso has more charisma. He been out there a little bit more. He been on the Total Divas. He's Naomi's, husband, and So I think he's been out there a little bit more, and they gave the ball to Jay to run with, and I think it's going to be cool, man. And it was cool. It was cool this past Sunday at Clash of Champions, you guys. What a Clash of Champions that was, man. Speaking of pay-per-views, man, the best pay-per-view of the year besides WrestleMania. Besides WrestleMania, of course, they had no fans. And, we still don't have fans now, but we got this WWE Thunderdome, the third pay-per-view that been in the Thunderdome so far. SummerSlam, yeah, Payback right after that, and now we got Clash of Champions, man. It was off the chain. Off the chain. We started it off. The SmackDown Tag Team titles was on the kickoff show. Cesaro, Nakamura retained, but we started off the main show with the IC title on the line. It gave me WrestleMania 10 vibes with Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, both titles up and, hanging. Like, even though, and it was three guys, now if it was three titles up there, that'd have been cool, even though there was a little bit extra, like all three of you guys claiming to be, champ. But Sami Zayn had the right to claim it because he left, throughout the pandemic. He didn't lose the title. So he was like, I'm the rightful champ. I'm the rightful champ, man. So he did his thing for weeks and weeks, and the match was crazy, man. From Jeff Hardy getting his ear handcuffed to a ladder, and AJ Styles getting all tangled up in the ladder and handcuffed too, and all the crazy spots, man. I gotta say, man, that was one of the matches of the night, man. And a lot of people say that was the match of the night, man. But it was just so many other. It was a good show, man. It was a good show. We seen Zelina step up to Asuka. She took on her, but she lost. The Raw Tag Team titles were on the line. That match ended short because Angel Garza got injured. We also seen Apollo Crews defeat. We seen Bobby Lashley defeat Apollo Crews, retaining the U.S. Championship. And also, you guys, the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley was supposed to defend it against Nikki Cross, but she did not defend it against Nikki Cross. Asuka came out, I guess, that was supposed to have been a little match. I was like, okay, I'm through with this. Same old. And I was through with the Street Profits taking on Andrade and Garza too. And I was hearing that they was, Andrade and Garza was supposed to win. But y'all did it so many damn times now. So I was like, okay, but yeah, Asuka came out, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. I already was a couple of minutes behind in the pay-per-view, so when I kind of like got caught up, I seen Sasha, so I'm like, okay, Sasha's here. I want them to milk that because I think that's another key matchup leading into this this year's big WrestleMania. Is another key matchup, man. So yeah, Sasha came out, beat up Bayley for a little bit, with her neck brace on, but I love the story. Other than that, man, I really love the matchup. Speaking of story, I really love the matchup between Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, man. How, Big Show, was holding on to his foot. And I was like, the hell Big Show doing here? Then it's Christian. Then I was like, okay, I see what's going on. And then, we get Shawn Michaels. He spit, sweet chin music, him off the top of the ambulance. And, then Ric Flair, he's the driver because he wasn't in the ambulance. He probably was, but they didn't even show him. But I'm pretty sure when they cut camera, he got in that damn ambulance and smiling like bud. But I mean, that was storytelling like bud, man. I really, really enjoyed that. And of course, man, the main event, the Tribal Chief taking on his cousin Jey Uso, man, which was dope, man. Man, say his name, say the Tribal Chief, for his brother Jimmy to come out with the towel, man, and just like, you feel me? And then for Jay, like, don't throw the towel in, oops, don't throw the towel in, oops, man, I'm going, man, all of that, man, all of that was beautiful, man, was beautiful. And Roman ain't got the chest protector on no more, and all of this, man, from, him being the Tribal Chief and got the, the joint around his neck, the Samoan, man, I love it. I don't know. I love it, man. But we gonna move on. Monday Night Raw this past week, man. Was a cool Raw. We seen Drew McIntyre celebrate with some of the legends to open up Monday Night Raw. Of course, Randy Orton ain't having it. Most likely, we probably going to see Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah, I guess, I'm kind of over it. Like, let's do something else though. But looking like that's what's going to happen. We seen the return of Robert Roode this past Monday. Drew McIntyre laid out an open challenge for his WWE Championship. He felt like defending it. So we seen the returning of Robert Roode, which was pretty exciting. You know, I haven't seen Robert Roode in a while. Another thing was pretty shocking also, and it was exciting too, that I'm glad we didn't see, was Raw Underground. So I'm glad they, passed that by. That whole retribution thing, you guys, man, I don't know. They should just let it go. Like, we don't know that's Dominic Dijakovic. Like, we don't know that's Mia Yim. Like, we don't know who these guys are. Like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy, man. It really is. KO, Aleister Black, they did their thing in another cool matchup on Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee, Andrade. I want to see more of that. I really do. I want to see more of that. Show me more, because I've been, clanging for Keith Lee to face somebody more, other than Randy Orton and other than his matches ending in a DQ. So, yeah, more Keith Lee and Andrade. But also, you guys, the WWE draft is also coming up. So leave a comment, man. Tell me who you guys want to see on which show and who you want to see go where. Also, you guys, man, NXT this past week, man, was pretty dope. It was pretty cool, man. Just the go home show to NXT Takeover 31 is taking place this Sunday live on the WWE Network, headlined by Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly. And I think, man, that's going to be the matchup that is going to steal it, man. That's going to be the matchup that's going to steal it. Like, Kyle O'Reilly, he's back. This is his opportunity. He's going to get it. So that's going to be really cool. Another match that's going to steal the show, Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest. That's going to be beautiful. Candice LeRae taking on Io Shirai for the women's title. Man, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. NXT UK is back, you guys. Can't wait for MLW to come back. It's the fall now, so can't wait for Major League Wrestling to return. And can't wait for Ring of Honor to get the flowing back so I can, mix it up, man. Get some more of these pro wrestling to talk about, man. Just besides the main ones. But also, you guys, man, AEW, man, did a hell of a show this past week. Hell of a show, man. For real. I can't wait for the next week's dog collar matchup between Cody and Brody Lee. That's going to be really good. But this past week, man, was really dope, man. Darby Allin, he defeated my man Ricky Starks, baby. He defeated him. It was a cool matchup. We also seen Cody, man, came out there, pulled a passionate promo, talked about, is he going to accept the match? He said no, but came back and it did. And whole brawl went out, man. Whole brawl went out for 5 minutes. Out came Brandy. She just came out there and did more. Jumped off the top rope, and then the woman fighting now. You feel me? Nyla Rose was ringside the whole show until up there. She was a fan. And then the woman started wrestling, and she was like, you know what? I break bitches, so let me just get fighting. So that happened. Awesome tag team match between SCU and FTR. Dope up match. Isaiah Cassidy, Jericho. They ended in the Judas Effect, was beautiful. The Butcher versus I ain't gonna do it. John Moxley was also dope, man. And Britt Baker, she's back in action. Dope AEW Dynamite, man. Dope. Can't wait for next week's show. Got some cool lineups. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to Takeover this Sunday, you guys, man. Man. Been a crazy week, man. Been a really, really crazy week. But speaking of AEW, you guys, my man Eddie Taurus, you guys, he made his AEW debut on AEW Dark on September 1st. He took on Shawn Spears, you guys, which was an incredible matchup, man. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, you guys. But coming up in just a short little bit, my man Eddie Thomas, pro wrestler, will be here joining me to talk some pro wrestling on the podcast in just a bit, you guys.
This contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first from Newark, New Jersey, weighing 243 pounds, Eddie Taurus.
Yo, you guys, man, like I was saying, my guest, you guys, he's originally from Newark, New Jersey, but he's coming to us, you guys, today from Tampa, Florida, you guys. He's an independent pro wrestler. He's been in the game for 19 years strong, man. 19 years strong. Also, you guys, he's a first responder. Man, that's cool. We got to dive into that. We really got to dive into that, you guys, man. But he works for IPW Hardcore, for Impact Pro, DCCW, USWA, Thunder Championship Wrestling, American Combat Wrestling, and a few others, you guys. Like I was saying, he made his debut on AEW Dark September 1st, you guys, man. My man, the Authority, Eddie Taurus. What's going on with you, buddy?
Hey, it's going good. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. How's your day going?
Hey, it's good. It's a good day. It's good day. It's been chilly. Florida's getting a little colder. I like it.
Okay. That's dope. That's dope, man. For my listeners that are joining me here on the podcast this week, who may not be familiar with you, can you introduce yourself and tell them a little bit something about you?
Well, like you said, I'm the Authority Eddie Taurus. I'm based out of Tampa, Florida. I've been wrestling going on 19 years, coming in 2 weeks. A little bit about myself. I was trained by Steve Kern in 2002 in School of Hard Knocks. Been traveling and wrestling since then. Seeing the rise and fall of many wrestling promotions and workers, and had the privilege to be part of a lot of people's legacies and history. I'm a father, so, I have a family, I have kids, I take care of them first and foremost. I'm blessed, but I'm even more blessed to still be part of the wrestling business and continue to be a part of the growth that is independent wrestling.
Okay, that's dope, man. That's dope. You said you were a first responder. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because that seemed very, very interesting on the fact that what's going on right now in the world as far as the pandemic.
It's basically I work for a EMS company based out of Tampa called AMR, American Medical Response. Right now I work on a 911 system, assisting of local fire and hospital transfers with the COVID-19 protocols and pandemic that's happened. It's a massive amount of high risk situations with transports regarding patients and those who are ill or sick. But I'm privileged to work with a lot of great EMTs, paramedics, and personnel in the EMS field, officers, everybody. I mean, it's strenuous having to deal with not just the fact of contracting it, but also the fact of also having to put yourself out there, having to protect yourself with PPE and the proper procedures and protocols that are in line for anyone in the EMS field. It's been a growth. It's been a change of the way of people's lives, but it's a job, and someone has to do it, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How have you been managing through the pandemic as a first responder?
It's just been just like I said, my company does a great job of maintaining their directives and protocols. Being out on the field, it's just, like I said, protecting myself, make sure I have little ones, make sure that I stay healthy and I stay away from anybody that suspected of COVID or anything like that. Nowadays, we live in a high anxiety is very high regarding what's going on with this, with everything with COVID and just society in general. But it's I've been handling pretty good. Like I said, I'm very excited about being a part of this field, and I feel like I'm benefiting people's lives, being able to help them out the best way I can with the education and the title that I hold. So, I mean, I've been doing very well. I mean, I'm privileged. The best thing about it is that, unfortunately, a lot of people have not been able to work. And with this field, I've been able to work. And that's first and foremost important. So I'm grateful for that.
True. That's cool, man. Cool. But on to some wrestling, man. You say you've been wrestling for 18 years in the wrestling business. I got to ask, man, how did wrestling find you?
Oh, wrestling found me. Actually, in the form of an old friend of mine's, and when I first moved down from Newark to Tampa in the late '90s, I connected with some local friends and who were doing like local backyard wrestling and stuff like that. And so, going the luck of the draw was one of my friends. His dad was a former professional wrestler for many years. He was Frenchie Martin. He was the manager of Dino Bravo. Um, so by that introduced me into the concept of ever entering the wrestling business. And his dad helped train me and one or two other of my other friends, including his son. And that kind of opened the doors to having an opportunity to work for a very, very small local promotion. Then it was just off for the races.
Cool, man. That's really awesome. Well, I was going to ask you how long you've been a pro wrestler, but obviously you said 19 years. Who are
Yeah.
some of who are some of the greats or or wrestling personnel that you have had the time to get in the ring with?
Oh, phew. I've I've always take pride in not name dropping, but it's important. Like, but I think at this point in time, I'm humbled that I got to cross paths with a lot of greats. When I first came around the business, there's a lot of Florida like local wrestling legends around. Those who've been around, a lot of guys who've done stuff in the early TNA days, NWA Florida day, or the old NWA Florida days. But when I was attending current school, I got the opportunity to work with Macho Man prior to his death. He had actually was doing like a machoman.com thing for a while, and I had the opportunity to kind of be in the beginning of that in my early days, really early days. I got to, touch with Bam Bam Bigelow, one of my favorites. He worked with us again, unfortunately, prior to his demise. He worked with a local promotion, ACW, American Combat Wrestling, in his heyday. I got to work with D'Lo Brown, who had a match with him a few years back, and a lot of like young guys that started out then. Jesse Neal, Sam Shaw. There's a lot of people. I could keep going down. I've been lucky enough that I've been that guy that's been around long enough to either meet guys on their path or when they started. And got to work with them and be a part of them. Roderick Strong was me and him. We kind of started at the same time at IPW. Guys like that, So I've been fortunate.
Ooh, cool. Big fan of Roger Strong. Big fan of him. You made your AEW debut last month, a month ago, September 1st on AEW Dark against Sean Spears. I gotta ask it, man. How was the experience, and how was it?
Oh, AEW is doing some great things for the independent scene, including their own. They're giving a lot of guys opportunities that will normally get opportunities, and of all times, like I said, I'm going on 19 years. It's what they're doing there, and the company itself, Tony Khan, Cody, and all the higher ups there. They're all doing some great things, and my experience was as you saw, was great. I mean, it was an opportunity to be part of to see the inner workings and see AEW as a whole, and they do it. They're doing it right in my perspective. And again, I'm a small fish in a big ocean, but it's also being humble enough to go in the locker room, and got the opportunity to be a part of a lot of locker rooms and see the professionalism, the structuring, the camaraderie. Working with Sean Spears, I've worked with Sean Spears years ago when he was before his NXT time, when he was not signed. Mm-hmm. So having the opportunity years later to kind of work with him in that stage at the level he's at was humbling and was an experience. And I'm looking forward to going back again.
That's cool, man. AEW has been doing it right and been doing some really, really cool things from your short time there. Can't wait to see you back again. Who do you feel has the most potential in AEW right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. They have a lot of great talent. Honestly, they have a lot of young talent there that they're mixing with the veterans and a lot of the established names there. Those who came, and that's the best part about that place is there's so many people there from everywhere that's been a part of all the main shows. I'm talking about WWE, New Japan, ECW days, TNA, everything. I'm a big fan of. There's a young guy there, Serpenteco. He's a good worker. He's part of a tag team. right now. He's a great worker there. Kylie King, she's doing good stuff there. I like her. She's a great worker there. I think that like I'm a fan of also of FTR. I think that FTR, granted they're FTR, they're the epitome of what a tag team should be, in my opinion. And I came up, with the Brain Busters and, the Heart Foundation. My work was always tagging prior to getting singles. So FTR is well deserved. They have a locker room of guys, man, that Sean Spears, another one that's a veteran of the game and have an opportunity to work and then be tied in with Tully Blanchard. It's a great mixture of young talent who have raw passion and talent, but also you have the great aspect of the veterans there helping them and working with them together, so.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. That's really dope. I gotta ask you, man. Been in the game for a while. What inspires you?
Inspires me. What inspires me in the business is the fact that my wrestling has always been a love of mine. And I know people use love. I've always enjoyed there's a competition part of wrestling. I look into like guys like Mr. Perfect, who's another one of my favorites, and Bret Hart and those guys. When they wrestled, they look like they were competing to see who was the best, right?
Yeah.
So me growing up and playing sports most of my life, it was always about competition. It was about growth and learning. But on top of that, a lot of young guys, it's the ability to work with some of the young talent nowadays. I've been in the independent scene for all these years, and I've got opportunities here and there, but having to help take a young person, a young talent, come up and give him the ins and outs of what to do so I could be in the middle of where they need to go next, and not only just stop and be able to work with them and have camaraderie and have that ability to have a great match with them. I take pride in that. I take pride in being in my age of 39 years old and having to work with a guy who's 20 years younger than me and still have a great match. That still drives me. And again, I feel the need to continue to prove to myself that I can still perform at a high level.
Exactly. That's cool. Anybody in the business, maybe younger or right now, that you would like to work with that you haven't?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a few guys I would like to mix it up with. There's one, I would say, a friend of mine that I've known for a while. He's Mecha Wolf 450. He does a lot of independent. He works for Crash. I've never worked with him. I like his work. I'm a fan of his work. I'm also a fan of David Ali. He's a young guy too. I like him. I see some of his work. I'm a fan of his work. Ray Fury.
Okay.
He's a good talent there. I would like to work Ray. I'm all about working guys, man, that want to have the best match possible. It makes me excited. It makes me want to compete. But those are name a few guys that I would like to mix it up with. Actually, another one I'd like to mix it up with, just to add in there, is Snoop Strikes. I think he used to go by Kodo Brazil in MLW.
Okay.
He's a young guy too that he's got a lot of springs and he's very talented. And there's just so many guys, man. I really put my view on the independent scene, but those are the name of a few guys.
Okay, cool. I'm really excited for the return of MLW really soon. But you guys, man, I have my guy Eddie Taurus here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, you guys. We're going to take a quick short break and we'll be right back. We're going to play a game with my man Eddie, and we're going to talk some more wrestling here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling.
When it comes to growing your podcast, it's tough to know where to start. That's why Anchor gives podcasters the tools they need to make each episode better than the last. Now, Anchor Analytics includes new stats from Spotify to help you better understand who's listening and what they like about your show. With charts that let you see how far people are making it into each episode and where they're dropping off, you can plan your podcast around the content that performs best. Hover over to see how many people are tuning into specific segments and learn what hooks your audience by comparing the average listening time across multiple episodes. Using anonymized demographic data from Spotify, take a granular look at the age and gender of your listeners to start tailoring your content or targeting new audiences. Track analytics from multiple platforms and Spotify insights. Everything you need to grow your podcast, all in one place with Anchor.
Hey, you guys, before we jump right back into the podcast, I want to tell you about listener support. Yo, listener support helps me out big time with the podcast as far as setting up equipment, getting guests, you name it, you guys, man. Support this podcast. Hit the link in the description, you guys. Yes, hit the link in the description. You can support this podcast with a small monthly subscription. Yeah, for real. 99 cents a month. $4.99 a month and $9.99 a month. Support this podcast, man. The 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Click the link in the description so I can keep making these podcasts for you. Yo, you guys, welcome back here to the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. I got my guy Eddie Taurus here on Talk Pro Wrestling with me this week, man. We having fun talking some wrestling, man. During the break, man, we were just chatting it up. You say you haven't been able to catch some of, the latest WWE, but you're a big old school WWE fan. We were talking Mr. Perfect, Bam Bam Bigelow. Them guys are your all-time favorites. Can you tell me something favorite about Bam Bam Bigelow and Mr. Perfect?
I think the best thing about Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, is that my favorite memory of him is always that vignette they used to have when they used to show like the little commercials of him always doing like the tennis, golfing, and the basketball, hitting those. I so love that, man, because as you fast forward now and you probably watch it, you see there was a lot of outtakes and a lot of practice, but then it was the most amazing. This guy, there was nothing he could not do, right? And the funniest thing I thought was the coolest thing was every time he spit his gum out and smacked, I thought that was the coolest thing. I think as a kid growing up in Jersey, I started spit, smack. I never hit it, but so I'm not Mr. Perfect, you know what I mean? But Bam Bam Bigelow, he's from Asbury Park, New Jersey, right? So it's a Jersey thing, I guess.
Okay.
And but growing in that time in the 90s, I just thought he was cool with the flames. And he used to do like top rope. He was fast for his size. He did the he did the whole cartwheel and everything like that. But ECW is what made me love him more, because he became really the East, the beast from the East. Like the most iconic ECW picture, I think, is when he put Taz through the mat. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When he had him.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Oh man, bro. Listen. I was watching it as a teenager, watching it live, like watching that, and I'm like blown away. I'm like this, granted, fast forward, we know how the business works now, but then it was like the most amazing thing ever. And here he is walking out of that hole, and that was it. And again, those two were my favorites because of just how out there they were. They were unique, they stood out. They were great, I thought, respectfully in their fields of wrestling. Kurt being a great storyteller, ring technician, and just overall gimmick. And Bam Bam was just that equalizer. He was big to be like, he was a King Kong Bundy big, but he was still big enough to contend against guys like the Bret Harts and those kind of people, Shawn Michaels, things like that. So I always appreciated that.
Okay, cool, man. My favorite growing up, like I said a bunch of times here on the podcast, of course, was The Rock growing up, man. And just as that moment with Bam Bam, and Taz going through the hole, and you had that reaction, man, I couldn't. The reaction I had when The Rock came back, or anytime I guess he came back, man, was I just woke everybody up. Like everybody came in the room and just knew, it was something. So, man. Yeah, it was your favorites. It's something else. But what do you think of today's WWE and what's missing?
I think, prior to, COVID, and now with the whole Thunderdome, them trying to work with that, I'm still a big believer in crowd. Like having the crowd. You need the crowd. That's just. It doesn't, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of studio style work, only because, I'm all about the people on the first row, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
WWE feeds off that. So I think that's kind of dwindled it to me, like as far as like they had them having to do a lot of like the vignettes and backstage stuff has helped a lot, but so I don't know, I kind of strayed away from it, like watching it, because nothing's like enticed me to watch it. And that being said, that's gonna go into the second question you asked me is to be able to draw the true climactic drawing. You know what I mean? Like what's really getting me into? I think the best thing that's happened so far in a long time is the Roman Reigns heel gimmick and him turning over heel, and now having the Usos coming in playing the family blood feud issue, and which opens up to so many major big possibilities, which I'm sure you could speculate, down the road who Roman Reigns could wrestle eventually, considering it's a Samoan dynasty situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing. So that's okay. Now there's a big marquee match possibly building up for WrestleMania, and that's what you want. That whole year built up to something so amazing, and I think that's what it is. I think I'm not a writer. I'm not, professional writer or anything like that. But as a fan and as a performer, and as a professional wrestler, it's like I'm all about, if I get that guy, that 200, 300,000, whatever amount of people are there to believe in what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Then I did my job. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like wrestling's great, but if I could get them to believe it, then that's what matters. And I think people are like, oh, wrestling's, fake, whatever. But it's only fake to your interpretation of what's fake. You know what I mean? We know it's fake, but it's not really fake. It's and WWE is great about it. I mean, they're where they are because of what they're doing. But I just, if they really make this Roman Reigns gimmick go, then that's what's going to sell me or those like me that would like to come back and be fans of the rest, fan of it again. But they're lacking they're very anticlimactic. They need to be more climactic,
Okay.
So,
Okay. Before the coronavirus, was you a fan of the product?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it. I watched NXT mostly. I thought Adam Cole was doing some great things. He's a great heel.
Okay.
And that whole just the whole build up with everything going on. I tried my best to stay in touch with it. I try to watch what I can. But I was a fan of watching the product, of all the products, AEW. I mean, I watch a lot of New Japan as well.
Okay.
But what I could catch, because it's not like you could watch it every Monday night or something. But
I got you.
I wish it was. I'll watch New Japan every Monday night. You know what I mean? If it was on TV, but it is what it is. But I think like WWE will get the swing of it eventually again once everything gets better. I hope.
Okay. So what do you kind of think of the WWE Thunderdome?
I think it's a cool concept. I know it's different. You know what I mean? And that's what you want, right? Like they transitioned from having just certain people, which half the time it was going to be like their own talent banging on those walls.
Yeah.
To now being fans and people via video chat like this, and it's a good way to keep the fans involved because, I mean, think about it. What are they gaining from it? They're not selling tickets. They're not selling T-shirts or merchandising or anything. So they're really doing it for us or you and me. You know what I'm saying? So to be more involved, to kind of feel like we're there watching it. I mean, it's cool to sit there and watch it. And you're actually watching them wrestle, as a fan perspective. So that's cool. I like that.
Would you prefer the banging, on the wall, the whole their own talent? Versus
I would rather have the Thunderdome. I would rather have the TV. Yeah, because I'll be straight with you. Sometimes you see the same people.
You're right about that.
Like this is the same guy. The whole next week. I don't care how many times you change their clothes.
Yeah,
it's the same person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like and it works for Underground because Underground is meant to be that gritty, Fight Club-ish,
Okay.
Jeff Jam Vendetta look kind of thing, as I call it, you know what I mean? But it's Underground's different. If you see the same people, that's like a private club, right? Underground works like that, but Raw Underground. But like on the mainstream, I mean, I like the fact they change it up. And it was funny is like I think one time I saw online that there was like two wrestlers. I think one time Omega was caught on there one time watching it. Kenny
Yeah, I
Omega
heard.
was on there.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. It was. I think he wrote that. Oh, he just did it as just to see if it worked, and it did. And there he
Mhm.
was. You know what I mean? On the main screen, someone took a picture of it on their TV, and he was there, just like in his living room or something, which is pretty funny, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what's cool about it, because now people are going to watch it to see who's on those screens.
Yeah, because
right?
this past Monday on Raw, I seen a clip of AEW. You know, somebody was streaming, you know, AEW on one of the screens, and I looked up, I was like, oh, you know, and they got took off real fast. So it's like, wow.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, man, it's cool. You know, I was a part of it at one time, you know, a couple of times.
Really?
So, you know,
Cool.
I think it's kind of like an hour duration. But, you know, sometimes I see, you know, the normal fans who actually be there, they be in it, you know, throughout the whole show. So, you know, it's crazy though, man. It really is. But we're gonna move on here on Talk Pro Wrestling. We're gonna play a game. You down to play a game?
Let's go. Let's play.
Okay. We're gonna play a game of Are You a Fan? Are you a fan? Or
We're
no?
gonna challenge it. Yeah, we're gonna challenge me. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. And this is surrounding Mr. Perfect. This is a game of Mr. Perfect. So if you're a fan, let's see. Okay.
All right, let's call me out. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay. To begin his wrestling career in 1980, what did Kurt Hennig go by?
Ooh. What did he go by? I bow out immediately. You gotta tell me that one. Oh.
He went by Cool Kurt Hennig.
Cool Kurt Hennig. Oh,
Cool Kurt AWA. Yes.
AWA. Really? Okay. Cool Kurt Hennig. All right.
Okay.
For one. All right, let's go.
Which WWE Hall of Famer won Tag Team Gold with Kurt Hennig and AWA?
Oh. Rick Martel? No.
I'll give you another try.
Yes, yeah. Give me one more try. What Hall of Famer won the AWA tag team titles with Kurt Hennig?
Yes.
Oh man, I can see it in my head. Oof. Oh man. No, it's not Shawn Michaels, is it?
Close. You close.
Oh,
you
God.
close.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, give it to me.
Sky Hall.
Scott Hall. Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
How long when Mr. Perfect came to WWE, how long was he undefeated?
How long was he undefeated? Man, you really got the trivia on this one. When he first came to WWE, he was undefeated. Let me see. He wrestled. Oh my God! Is there a multiple choice?
Okay. I can give you a multiple choice. I think that's better. Okay.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
How long was he undefeated? Was it A, 6 months, B, 1 year, C, 2 years, D, for 1 day?
I think he was. I want to say, if I remember correctly, I want to say he lost his first match. I want to say 1 day.
1 day?
No. I'm indecisive with two of them. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go with my gut feeling. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go with 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
When he came to WWE in 88 through 90, I believe he was undefeated for 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
When he was under the Mr. Perfect persona.
I'm getting. You know what? I think I'm just gonna stick with Bam Bam as my favorite now.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
All right. Wow.
Which of the big four did Mr. Perfect make his pay-per-view debut?
The big four.
Yeah.
Okay, talking like Macho Man, Hulk, and stuff like that.
No.
You're talking about big four promotions?
The big four pay-per-view in WWE as far as WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. WrestleMania. Okay.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Man, I think it was when he came in. The big four was WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say Survivor Series.
You got it.
Boom. Oh, for 3, baby. Yes.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yes. All right. I'm happy.
And what WrestleMania did Mr. Perfect return as special guest referee?
Which WrestleMania? Oh, special guest referee. I want to say, man, special guest referee. I want to say Flair was involved with that. Ah, man. He came back like he was gone. Oh, man. I don't know. Go ahead.
It was a WrestleMania 10.
Okay. Who was in the match?
10.
No?
I think it was. I'm gonna get back on going to that.
Okay, don't worry.
WrestleMania 10.
All right.
Okay. Who was Mr. Perfect last match with?
Oh, his last match on TV?
Well, it may not have been on TV because of the his opponent. So it may not have been on TV. But do you know?
I think I know the last match he ever had was, I want to say, here in Tampa.
I believe it was.
Yeah, it was in Tampa. That's before he passed away, unfortunately. I can't think of the person he wrestled at the time, but I know it happened. It was at the fairgrounds in Tampa. Was the last match he had, if I'm saying correctly. At least I know the location. I think I know the location.
Okay, you got it. I'm gonna give you two.
Okay. Well, who's he wrestle? Who did he wrestle?
David Flair.
David Flair. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, wow. David Flair.
Yeah, David Flair.
Okay, got it. That's not.
Who did Mr. Perfect lose the AWA title to?
He lost the AWA. I swore it said his name. I think it said, it was Rick Martel, wasn't it? No? Rick Martel, the AWA champion. No, he beat Vern. No.
I'm going to give you a hint. Can I give you a hint?
Please do. Please.
He's the king.
Oh, Lawler?
Yeah.
He lost the belt to Lawler. Okay, yeah, it was. I'm trying to play it back to, I know Rick was the AWA champion. Vern's son never won. And Perfect lost to, yes, you're right. Yes, Lawler. Yes.
And the last one, who is Mr. Perfect's son?
Oh, it's oh my God, it's he goes by so many names now in WWE. I know he was tagged with Bo Dallas for a while. Joe Henning?
Curtis
Henning? Is it Curtis Henning?
Yes.
It's not Joe Henning?
He went by a couple of names. Michael McGee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They gave him like 7 names besides Henning,
Yeah.
Like I think in FCW here in Florida, in Tampa, he went by Joe. I think he went by Joe Henning at FCW.
Okay.
And I remember going there. This is when I was trying to go there, and I remember him there, because that was Ricky Steamboat's son was there for a while. Like they had all. I mean, that place was saturated with second generation wrestlers. Roman Reigns was there when he first started, but I remember Steamboat's son was there, Joe, Ted DiBiase Jr., and all those guys. Man, it was like a plethora of second generation wrestlers.
Okay.
But I remember him recently tagging with Bo Dallas. They were doing that tag team for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So he had Curtis, right? Curtis Henning?
He had a whole lot of potential, man.
That poor guy. Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that. The whole, I don't know. But, Eddie, man, I appreciate you joining me here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Before you go, man, any shout outs, man? Where can we catch you at wrestling, wise, and where we can follow you?
Man, listen, I got my page on Facebook, my main Facebook page, The Authority Eddie Taurus. A lot of my content's on there. I've got currently new t-shirts on sale for fullygimmick.com. Got cool design, got Halloween design coming with a zombie version of me. It's pretty cool. But currently I haven't taken any bookings right now because of what's going on. But I have a bookings coming up in December, working with DCCW out in North Florida. I'm in talks with other shows that are promising that I might do some good stuff with the scene that I've been fortunate enough to be in touch with. And like I said, you never know. You might see me in AEW again one day soon. Who knows? But I got my Instagram, which is Eddie Taurus, at Eddie Taurus, and my Twitter. I've been trying to get that going, at Eddie Taurus as well. And YouTube. I got some videos up on there. I'm trying to update a lot of my old stuff from the last 18 years. Trying to put a lot of old things in there, kind of show how bad I was back in the day. So, but yeah, I mean, please check out my page. And again, I appreciate you coming on here, man. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. No problem. Anytime. Eddie Taurus, once again, man, appreciate you joining me here on Talk Pro Wrestling.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Yo, Eddie Taurus, man, I appreciate you, man, stopping by here on the 1130 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, man. You was a great sport. It was a fun playing. Are you a fan, man? You got some right, man. You got some wrong, but it's all cool, man. We win some, we lose some. But man, once again, it was a pleasure. It was an honor for you coming back here and just chatting some wrestling, man. I find it so cool that you're a first responder also, man, and you a pro wrestler at night. But man, awesome, man. I wish you the best on your success in wrestling and in life, man. And once again, thank you for joining me here on the 1130 podcast, man. Appreciate it, man. You guys, man, that's Eddie Taurus, man. If you haven't seen this matchup on AEW Doc, man, go check it out, man. And hey, for real, man. Dope. That was really, really cool, you guys. But hey, you guys, man, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Dreonwheels, you guys. Follow me on Instagram at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. Also, you guys, man, subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. You dig, man? And if you would like to be a guest here on the podcast, email me. the1130podcast@gmail.com. That's the1130podcast@gmail.com, man, for real, man. So leave a 5-star rating, man. Leave a review. Subscribe to me on YouTube, man. Don't forget, new episodes of the 1130 podcast comes out, my main regular podcast, each and every Tuesday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You dig, man? So that's going to be dope, man. I appreciate everybody for joining me here on the 1130 podcast. You woke up listening to me. You on your way home. It's a good day. Thank God it's Friday, man. So, yo, it's your man Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.